Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading and welcome to another episode of my Forex Weekly. For those of you who don't know, this is going to be me going through the charts, looking at the best investment opportunities for the week, showing you how I'm going to tackle them, and then of course we can catch some movements throughout the week. So if that sounds good to you, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner, stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming in the next couple of months. With that being said, I want to say a quick shout out to my website. It's here in the background, www.capitalatrading.co.uk. For any beginners, for any advanced traders who want to learn a new strategy, check out my website. I've got a beginner's course and an advanced course, which is going to be geared around showing you how the institutions, how the big banks manipulate this market, how you can catch on to what they're doing. So if that sounds good, again, check out the website, www.capitalatrading.co.uk. With that being said, let's get into the charts.
For the week, there's going to be two pieces of news that really stand out this week. So Monday, again, not much. I'll be looking at the pound just after the London Open, but I'm not expecting too much of a movement. Then we get to Tuesday. I'll be keeping an eye out on the Australian dollar. Again, that'll be more Monday night. Just seems there's going to be any moves during the night for the Australian dollar. Then Wednesday is the day that I believe the markets are going to hold out for. So again, be patient, let the week start off. And then of course, by Wednesday, I think we're going to start to see the volatility in the markets. We've got the Canadian dollar's interest rate decision. That's an hour before London closes. So I'll be looking at that, especially with the pound CAD, which we're about to check out in a minute. And then later that day, the US dollar's interest rate decision. That's going to be at 7 o'clock. So again, just be aware. I'm expecting to see some power in the US dollar around that time. Thursday, again, there'll be some more news on the US dollar just after the New York Open. And then later that night, there'll be some on the Japanese yen. So again, I'll be mainly focusing on the US dollar during the later part of the week. And again, as you can see there on Friday, just after the New York Open, there's some more US dollar news. So with that, let's get into the charts. Okay, I'm going to start with what was one of the main focuses last week, and it's the Euro AUD. Now, again, what I want to talk about here on this daily picture is just the amount of times it's dropped from around this 158 to the 158.500 level. As you can see, we've had a lot of wicky candles, and then we've had some nice 200 pip movements to the downside. So here we are again. The week has finished with price having a good move, which we caught last week, and it's now back towards that area. So this week, I'm just going to watch what it does, how it performs here. I'm going to look for the contract being made. I just want to see price starting to stick, mainly at the 158.400, and then I'll be looking at possibly another trading opportunity from here. Congratulations to my students that caught the move last week. For those of you who don't know, this is my Discord channel. In here, I update the charts throughout the week. I talk about what I'm seeing, and I want to talk about the EURAUD picture that was seen last week, Tuesday, around the New York Open. So I started to see this candle. I saw price shoot up into an area, and then it started to reject and come down. For the rest of the afternoon, it just started to struggle at this area, as you can see, sticking underneath this blue candle highlighted yellow. And it was showing me that a contract was being made. It was showing me that price couldn't get higher than my orange line. It meant that we're now about to start a monstrous move to the downside. If I take us back into the charts and get us right onto that point at the 30-minute, you can see after that, we made a monstrous 250, 260 pip move to the downside. So again, if you haven't got access to my Discord, reach out to me on Instagram. That's adstar10_FX. Send me a DM. I'll give you the link for the Discord channel where you can catch all these trading opportunities that I keep up to date with throughout the week. So that was the Euro AUD. And again, you can see how I've just updated it. You can see how it's progressed throughout the week. And again, it ended the week, in a point of interest in a good area in the charts. So again, next week, we're just going to be looking to see if we can get a similar move from the same area, which again, if you know you're trading, is quite a common thing that happens. Keep an eye on that one. It's going to be the Euro AUD. Okay, so next up is going to be gold. Again, I just want to talk about this daily picture here. Price has come back to an area where we could start to see a push to the downside. So again, if I just break it down on that 4 hour, it's hit the level in between the 1845 to the 1850, and it looks like it's starting to level out. It looks like as you break down the time frame, it's kind of walking down a stairwell, I call it. So it's made a movement down, it's come back, and it's kind of just walking down a stairwell. So what I'm going to look at is price just coming back towards that 1846, 1847 to be precise. Again, this is gold. Give it a bit of space to breathe. So you do watch that whole 1845 to the 1850 area. I'm going to see how it interacts with this candle if it comes again, and there may be a selling opportunity there. Remember the US dollar's interest rate decision, that may fuel it. So again, I'll be checking this out heavily on Wednesday evening. Keep an eye on that. It's going to be gold. Okay, next up is going to be the US 30. Now, again, I'm going to have a few options on this. I'm going to keep an open mind throughout the week. The first thing I want to mention is this lovely bullish movement, this lovely bullish run heading to the upside, comes back to the point where if we are going to continue again, it looks like it's going to be from here. So the first thing I'm going to watch out for this week is the 3,400 mark. Let's say in between 34,300. I just want to see a price struggling, start to turn around, start to show some bullish involvement, and then I'll be focusing on that. As I break down the time frame and get onto the 4 hour, I'll be looking at the strength of the movement to the upside. I want to see what it's going to do when it gets to this 35,200, as I believe that may be an area that's going to kick off a whole new sell. So keep an open mind, watching both areas, see how the week starts off. I'll probably become a lot more active from Tuesday, so I'll let Monday play out, see how it goes, and then make a decision from there. Keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the US 30. Okay, next up is going to be the UK 100. For those of you who follow me, especially towards the back end of last year, we caught them nice moves from around that 7,200 mark. What I'm looking at now on this monthly picture is this is the last point of call. It looks like price has dipped into this blue candle here, which is the most damaging in this picture. And it looks like now we may get another push to the downside. I'm going to watch how it starts off this week. Of course, last week it had a nice bearish movement. And I'm just going to see if it retests towards the 7,600, 7,550. I just want to see it back up there and struggle again. Show me that it struggles again. And then I think we're going to get a push maybe back towards the 7,000 level. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the UK 100. Okay, everybody, it's crypto time. So for those of you who have got your Bitcoin, who are thinking about it, whatever you're doing with it, here's my ideas. Here's what I can see. I want to explain. I think it was February. I think it was early February 21. Elon Musk said something. He let out a tweet about Bitcoin and it rose. Now, that what I know, my understanding of investing, of trading, he's manipulated the market around this level to push it up. And he used people to their money as well to make it get up to this point around that 64,000 mark. What happened was it came back to the level in the summer and then went again. Now, what's happened is we're back at that level. Now, here's my idea. Here's my prediction. I just believe that there is tons of money under here with the amount of speculation that's been around Bitcoin. I do believe there is tons of money around the 28,000, 27, 25 mark, somewhere around there. So I just believe that this is going to play around this area for a little bit and then dip to the downside. So just be aware. Again, I know a lot of people believe it's going to make a push from here. I just think it's going to dip below and then start to progress again towards the upside. Maybe later on in this year, maybe around the summertime. So again, be patient with this. Keep an eye on it. See how it progresses. That'll be Bitcoin. Okay, this was another one that was mentioned inside my Discord channel. If you haven't got access, get access to that right now. I want to mention that a few weeks back, I was talking about this 137 to the 137,500 level, talking about the gap that was left in between here. And as you can see, it's come up, closed the gap, and started to make that bearish movement to the downside. Again, this was mentioned in my Discord channel. I was actually looking at a retest late on the week around this level, around the 136,600 to the 136,800. And it's just missed the area. And as you can see from there, took off and made a monstrous move to the downside. This was all mentioned inside the Discord channel. Please do get access now. As I break down the time frame, what I'm going to look for this week is that area where price came to and made the drop there on a London close just before a New York open. And I'm just going to look at them two candles and see how price comes back to it and maybe has a movement from it. So there's a lot of key things institutionally. There's a lot of liquidity that would have built above this area. It was then quickly raided and then drop to the downside. So I'm going to be looking to see price come back towards this area around the 136, let's say 400. Let's give it a bit of space to breathe. Maybe 136, 200 as well at the base of that candle. But also be aware of the US dollar's interest rate decision. Be aware of the pound news at the start of the week, which may, for example, just get the brush. Fuel price up to here. Pound news has been good, made the pound stronger. Struggle, struggle, struggle. US dollar news on Wednesday, and we may get the powerful move to the downside from there. That's going to be one of my main focuses for the week. It will be updated in the Discord. Get access to that now. That's the pound USD. Okay, next up is going to be the euro pound. Again, for those of you who follow me, you'll know that throughout the back end of last year, even at the start of last year, I was making a lot of profitable trades in this chart. Now, what I'm looking at this week is around the 84 mark to the 83,800. First of all, the daily picture says we're back at a candle where if we're going to continue to the downside, this is where it would happen. And there's been like a little bit of institutional play already, which I believe was on Tuesday, where price just came up and kind of showed its hand by hitting into that candle. So it tells me there is some relevance there. As I break down the time frames, again, you can see that this was the area I had marked out last week. It made a movement to the downside and it finished Friday right in the same point. So I will give it a bit of space to breathe. I do believe it's not gonna move from here. It's gonna come a little bit higher, hopefully towards that 84 mark, and then we can start to see price taking off. It may happen early this week. Of course, we've got the pound news early on, so I'll be monitoring this one throughout Monday and Tuesday. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be the euro pound. It's going to be updated in my Discord channel. Okay, next up is going to be the pound Australian dollar. Now, again, this is the daily picture. Price has come around that 190 level. I have been mentioning this last week, and it's been showing the signs of struggle. It looks like a contract is being created in that area. As I come down onto the 4 hour, I'm going to focus on this candle highlighted yellow here. This is where it looks like to me they've made that transaction, and they're now going to possibly come back towards it and make another move to the downside. Minimally, I can see price coming towards the 187 level. So that's going to be the target. It's a 250 pip move from the 189,500. Keep an eye on it this week. It's the pound Australian dollar. Okay, again, we'll start on the daily picture. The next one's going to be the AUD USD. Now, what it looks like to me is price is starting to level out around the 72,500 mark. So as I come down the time frames, it just looks like that stairwell is starting to form again. What I would suggest watching this week from that daily picture is what it looks like to me. Price has come to the 72 level Wednesday, Thursday. This was Friday. So it showed its hand, it's entered the contract, and it's now pushing down. So what I want to see is price continue that little push and then come back for Wednesday with the US dollar's interest rate decision. I want to see what it's going to do around that 72 mark on the base of this daily candle. I believe we're going to get a transaction from here and a big push to the downside, at least back towards the 70 level. So again, a possible 200 pip move there. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the interest rate decision on Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's the AUD USD. Okay, next up is the pound yen. I'm going to show you a trading opportunity that I caught last week. I want to show you how they hide things and how a transaction was seen. So as you can see, there's been a nice move to the downside. We're now around the 154 level, but it was around that 156,700, just below the 157 mark. What I want to talk to you about is what they've hidden in this area here. If I come down to the 2 hour, you can still see no blue candle in this yellow marking. So there's still no possible contract being entered there. As I get onto the 1 hour, around the New York Open, you can see that price was manipulated. They pushed it up and then they shot it down for the rest of that day. Price then returned later that week and started to show the signs of struggle and a contract being entered. It let me know that price is heading to the downside very soon. And as you can see, for the remainder of the week, made that nice movement of around 250, 260 pips. So keep an eye this week for this area here around the 155 mark. I believe price is going to come back towards that lonesome blue candle there, and then we could possibly get a transaction start from there. What's interesting about this candle is it's 10 o'clock, the Asian session. So again, just be aware. Let's see what's going to happen. That's the pound yen. Okay. Next up is the pound CAD. Again, this is going to be very fundamentally driven this week. A few weeks back, I remember mentioning around the 173 level that there could be a possible sell because of this lonesome blue candle here. As you can now see, we've had over a 300 pip move, 330 pip move to the downside. I do believe we're still going to continue to the downside. We've got pound news at the start of the week, which I want to see just push price up into this area here. Now, I've got a couple areas I'm going to be watching. I'm going to place a line here, right in the middle of this little movement between these two candles. It tells me they've marked out a particular area and they may come back to it. I'll be watching the 172 to the 171,800, just watching to see price struggle in there, see what's going to happen. If it's in line with the news for the Canadian dollar, even better. I will watch this market gap as well, just below, just to see if there's going to be a transaction there. I'm looking to see my movement happen in one of my levels. So keep an eye on them too. Be aware of the fundamentals. That's going to be the pound CAD. Okay, last but not least is going to be the USD CAD. I'm pretty much just checking out this pair due to the fact that they've both got an interest rate decision this week. So keep an eye on this 126,500. I'm just going off the daily picture. We've been heading to the downside since the back end of last year. I can't see that stopping anytime soon. I do believe we're going to continue. To be precise, I believe the 126,300 around here, price is going to come back, play into this market gap, get off the institutional area, and then hopefully continue to the downside. Be aware this can get very volatile this week. It can get very choppy with the interest rate decisions. So again, this isn't going to be my main focus, but if I see something lining up here, I won't be afraid to pull the trigger. Keep an eye on that one. Be aware of the interest rate decisions and the times they're going to kick off. That's the USD CAD.
Okay, that's all from me this week. Again, thank you for watching. If you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Keep track of some of the investments I've just mentioned throughout the week. See how you could possibly catch on to a profitable situation. Before I go, I just want to say a quick shout out to my website, www.capitalatrading.co.uk. If you're a beginner trader, if you're an advanced trader that wants to learn more, wants to learn a new strategy, check out the mentorship program and what's available to you and some of the things that you'll be learning. Very cool features on there. Have a great trading week.